back, everyone.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, final as of right now.
As of right now.
As of right now, final episode.
Hey, if we do really well.
If this pops off, then
we might keep going.
We might
Stay
keep
tuned
going.
For Scalded.
Stay tuned for Scalded.
I'm so excited for this week's episode.
I'm so excited for this week's episode.
So cool. You did such a cool thing.
We did such a cool thing.
Yes.
But before we dive into that, as always, we would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional custodians of the stolen land in which we record our podcast on today. The Wurundjeri Wurrung people of the Kulin Nations. We pay our respects to elders past and present and emerging. Sovereignty has never been ceded and always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Beautiful. So episode 3 of Scalded.
Yes.
So a very exciting one for everyone today and for you.
And for me.
And for you.
I know, looking to the future of feminine rage. And you sat down with Myles Russell-Cook, the CEO of ACCA.
I found out that they were doing, as we'll dive into, some future exhibitions that really resonated with obviously our topic of feminine rage. And so we reached out wanting to find out what was about the show, and considering today's episode was looking into the future of feminine anger, it just matched up perfectly that there was a future exhibition that was coming out.
Yeah, like the accumulation of everything we've talked about in the first 2 episodes.
Has kind of
bringing it forth into the contemporary art world.
It is, and it's obviously something that's an ongoing thing that's going to happen into the future as well. 2027. Let's start from the beginning. ACCA is coming out with numerous exhibitions which explore contemporary art which connects to the human emotion. Cool. They have only announced the first 3 shows of their upcoming exhibitions, which is starting in 2026, which is loneliness, that merges into rage in 2027, and then which merges into joy in 2028. Each one gives audiences a unique window into how artists express and transform emotion through their work.
Oh, that is so cool.
Which is amazing.
That is so cool.
And obviously, if anyone has picked up on it, we are going to be looking at Rage 2027, the 2027 exhibition. All day long, I felt like smashing my face in through a clear glass window. Iconic, which is a show devoted entirely to rage. And obviously, if you can tell by the title, it comes from Yoko Ono's 1973 song of the same name. And excitingly, as I did discuss with Myles, Ono is the leading artist of Rage 2027.
I can't wait.
So, we spoke a lot, dove into a lot, and I'm excited for the show.
So, Luce, before the interview, we sat down together and compiled a list of questions we were keen to ask Myles. First of all being, how did he put the show together?
All right. So, in quoting Myles, a lot of these sentences are going to be direct quotes from Myles. So he really wanted to come to the terms of what he says is, I really wanted to be kind of thought of more in the terms of when you're feeling one emotion, you're actually feeling 100 different emotions.
Interesting.
Emotions don't delineate in any kind of hard way. You might feel lonely, but at the same time you could feel absolutely melancholy, and at the same time you can feel any other emotion as well. Which I find was an interesting starting point that he's started with, to be like, you can't think of one emotion without thinking of another emotion. So he explains that each section of these shows are going to be somewhat linked in with each other, which I found is an interesting concept in the sense of, if you're dedicating a show to a certain emotion, how do you dedicate it to the emotion, but also dedicating it to all other emotions that are feeling within that one emotion? Because as we all know, when you're sad, you're not just feeling sad, you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling angry, or you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling melancholy. Is that the right word?
Melancholic.
Yeah, there we go.
You're feeling melancholic.
Yeah, so he kind of explains how he used a really interesting term of like a human kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
When you're looking through a kaleidoscope, you're not just seeing one thing.
No,
you're seeing all different varieties of colour. And I think that was an interesting concept to relate it to in the sense of emotions. When you're looking at one emotion, it's not just one emotion. So that's kind of where his like initial thought came from, is how do you showcase emotion in the sense of each emotion is related to another emotion.
Well, that is so fitting for our concept of feminine rage.
Yes.
Because, as we've discussed, feminine rage is not just rage. You know,
Yeah.
it's suffering, it's rebellion, it's violence, it's joy,
Joy.
it's cathartic, it's political, it's it's everything.
It's everything. It's every emotion that you feel.
Every emotion, and it's all, you know, encapsulated in this one concept of what we've been discussing as feminine rage.
Yes.
So it's so cool that he's tapping into that.
He's very
rage
much...
is not just rage.
Rage is not just rage. It's everything that comes into it, and everything plays a part in the next one.
Yeah.
He also like expresses that within rage, being the second show, there is a distinct placement in making it second because you're going between, if you think of like the arc of it, bless you. If you're thinking of the arc of the way these shows are run, it's loneliness, anger, and then joy.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a story to that, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of think of the 7 stages of grief.
I was going to exact same thing.
7 stages of grief. You think of the wave of how you feel grief, and I think in this way it's like a wave of feeling these emotions. You feel lonely, and then why do you feel lonely? Are you angry? And then what is the rage? And then eventually there's a resolution, and then you come out the end, and then there's joy. So I thought it was an interesting way that he's structured it that way.
That's so interesting. And so it's all centering around Yoko Ono.
Yes.
And her incredible seminal work.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Why did Myles think that she was the ideal figure to explore this emotion, and will there be any other artists contributing to the show?
So to start at the small part of that, there are in total only one artist being announced, which is Yoko.
Yep.
There are 13 other artists a part of the Rage show, but that is as far as I got.
Okay, cool.
Not allowed to know anything else. Secret under lock and key.
Yeah.
That is all he disclosed.
You heard it here first on Scalded.
Exclusive
insight.
But actually, sorry.
Yeah.
I think little insight. There is Lucy Liu is a part of the Loneliness show, and I wouldn't be surprised if she has another.
Wait, like the actress Lucy Liu?
Yes. So there's a whole thing. So for example,
I got chills.
Yeah. So we're
so
talking about this human emotion, and he was saying how when Lucy Liu started, she was originally an artist, but she went under her Chinese name, which I unfortunately do not know as of present. And so not many people knew who she was when she was being an artist, but then obviously she became Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
And then everyone figured out who Lucy Liu was as her artist.
That's so incredible. So her Chinese name is Liu Yuling.
There we go.
That's her name.
And she was saying how she felt a loneliness in being the artist.
Right.
Because nobody knew who she was. Right. But then she felt a loneliness in being Lucy Liu because everyone knew who she was, but not her true form, in a sense.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Which is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
And even though it's not announced, one of the artworks, a part of the show, is a collab Yoko did with John Lennon.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, back in 1968. So I did a little bit of digging.
Do the digging.
I did a little bit of digging.
Oh, this is exciting.
And it was, I'm not confirming nor denying if this is the actual, because obviously he never told.
Absolutely.
Myles didn't say what it was. All he said that there was a collaboration. One of the works is a collaboration with John Lennon.
Yep.
I punched into the Google John Lennon Yoko Ono 1968 art, and they had their first exhibition they had together opened in 1968, and it's very politically driven if you have a look at that side of it. So, which I think relates into the sense, but if we're going to let's link it all back to Yoko, because the show is
It's her.
It's her.
It's her. It's not Lennon, it's her.
It's not Lennon, it's her.
Yeah.
And Yoko's song is obviously the title of the exhibition.
Yes.
Which is another recurring theme that each title has. It's after a song. It's a song title.
Why? Did he mention why?
He did. The first one, the first title for the Loneliness Show is a song by Elvis Presley. But they were just saying that, so Myles reached out to her team originally. And they spoke about to the theme of rage and asked them if he could have some works from her
collection.
From her collection, from her estate, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what you have to do, and they were so excited about the theme because obviously Yoko is a very, I guess as we've discussed, is a very controversial.
Yes.
Controversial. I said that in parentheses.
An icon as well.
An icon that she is. So Myles really resonated with her work. He finds her a very extraordinary artist. And she was born in 1933, so that makes her like 92.
Yeah, getting on
around. So she's getting on. So they wanted, what Myles found really resonating about her work is, even though it very centers around rage, she's only ever had one message through her entire estate, which is peace.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Yeah.
And that's literally what Myles said. Peace and love, and no war. Right now the world is kind of geopolitically is so fractured, and we've got such a turmoil around the world that people who are fierce advocates for pacifism frame it in a way, and she has done that by looking at rage but seeing how we can use that rage to then come together and make peace.
Oh, incredible.
Which is a beautiful concept.
How fun is that to take what we talked about in last week's episode?
About rebellion. Yes.
This like violent, full of energy, anger and rage, and then turning it into this incredible thing, and like Yoko's doing it, turning it into this product of love and peace and something great that we can all look forward to. Because we are all so angry.
We are so angry, and like especially like a lot of Yoko's work focuses on the issues that's going on around today, and obviously there's major issues going around the world today. And it's
that's exciting.
It's so exciting. Really cool. So she chose the works herself that are being in the show. And Yoko especially, and like she knows this about herself as well. People perceive her, and this really taps into excuse me, let me get up the reference right now. Really taps into Rego's work. Dog Woman.
Yeah,
Paula Rego really taps into, because Yoko was saying that she knows that she's a wild, hairy, scream therapy, amazing, raging woman. And I just felt like that is so Dog Woman. So Dog Woman. And
I just love that this concept of feminine rage, we've chosen such broad artworks.
We have.
And they all link.
They all somehow, they all come back to one another. Like, one is not the same without the other. Yeah. They are all connected.
That is so exciting.
They are all connected.
That is so exciting.
But yeah, rage has been a very frenetic theme in her work. And the idea of these series on how peace and rage and peace and love can really be true at once. Both can correlate together. She wants to channel her rage into this is a quote from Myles. He said that she can channel her rage at the world into pacifism in a way that I think is really, really powerful, because all she wants is peace. Yeah. And I thought that was a beautiful concept.
Isn't that all we want?
We
just want peace.
Yeah, but in this whole concept of what we're saying in feminine rage, and how women's rage has been turned on its head and taken the wrong way, Yoko's rage has been turned into this doggy, hairy, muddy, unladylike way that she should react. But when in hindsight, she's just rebelling against the stereotypical norms that are pushed onto women.
She's just throwing it back.
She's just throwing it back in their face. And Yoko is everything that we've been discussing.
It all builds up to Yoko.
It all builds up to Yoko. And I think it's interesting to look at an exhibition in the future and using Yoko of such an icon through the years. I think it's going to be incredible.
I'm so excited. We're talking about all of that, intersecting concepts within feminine rage. How does Myles see within the emotions of the ACCA trilogy of loneliness and joy and rage, how does he see these emotions intersecting? And does it feed into them, emerge from them, or maybe does rage transform these emotions?
He didn't dive too much into it. Yeah. All he kind of expanded on is that he wants to use their work to make sense of a kind of nuanced complication of being a human being.
Divine language.
So from that, at its core, he's saying that it's an emotional landscape. So like we said earlier, one emotion cannot be without the other. Yeah. And Myles really loved this concept of what can emerge from this is that what else can you start with this, what else can it expand to? In his sense, he's really interested in melancholy, he's interested in humiliation, anxiety. And those are like, you think of melancholy and you think of anxiety, but when you think of like humiliation as a form, such a vulnerable space to be in. And I guess it all kind of links into one another. Sometimes when I have been angry, like so angry, sometimes I get humiliated.
Oh, if I get too angry and I start crying, I'm then I feel shame.
I feel shame.
Showing too much emotion.
Yeah, but he was saying how it's a bigger emotion than just being angry. Rage isn't just being angry. There's other forms of rage that isn't just yelling at somebody and being angry or, there's, like we've discussed, there's silence in rage.
And it's because you care.
Yeah.
It's because you care and you are showing up for yourself.
Yeah.
And advocating for yourself in that way. I think that's so powerful. And so when visitors come to see this show, will there be any components where they can interact with the artworks or interact with the concept of rage?
I think it was
like emotionally charged show.
Yeah, it is a very emotionally charged show, and I think it was more to what Myles said is I think a lot of people can channel that frustration and feeling the disconnect into rage and into a kind of resistance. So I think from what I gathered and what Myles was saying was you're going to walk away from this show feeling the rage, but also feeling it in a way of how do I feel rage in the concept of my everyday life and what it is to be a human being and feel rage.
So we're all going to walk out of the show and smash a bunch of cards.
Exactly.
Take some bloody wrist.
It's, he says that, and this is where I thought it was a very beautiful intersection because this also relates to our topic. He says melancholia is as defined as when you're feeling depressed. And he looks at it, he said, back in the day, melancholia was used as a pathological diagnosis and controlling form to control women.
Yes, well, it taps into hysteria.
You'd be
all of that.
It goes. You'd be diagnosed with melancholia, which we know today is more. There's more than just melancholia when you're diagnosed. It's nervous exhaustion. It's depression. It's anxiety, and it was in a way to control women's lives. And I think these emotions are lived in the experience of being lonely or segregating yourself or being alone than just being lonely. And then this is where he taps into Lucy Liu, what we discussed earlier, how she was feeling lonely when she was not known as her artist, but then as soon as she was in the public eye, she felt a different sense of loneliness, being seen, but you're not being seen.
Yes, like an internal and external loneliness happening at the exact same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think in our like aspect of, diagnosing and controlling women, like we said, it dives way back in to like a whole other things what we just said, like witches and the controlling of just how women were meant to feel.
And the misdiagnosis of women and the medical needs.
And which is ironic in a contemporary sense today. Like,
oh my gosh, everything.
Things are so still hard to like get with women. And,
yes, you got a little bit of pain, or you're a little bit sad, here's the pill.
Here's the pill. Here is the contraceptive pill.
You got any problem ever? Are you doing absolutely fine and you're super well? Here's the pill.
You love life. Here's the pill.
Here's the pill.
Here's the pill.
You change your personality entirely. Here's the pill.
Here's the pill. But
that's so interesting.
There wasn't anything just like, I don't think there's anything specific that the audience like will be able to interact with in the show. I think it's more like you're stepping into a space where you see the rage, but it's the bigger picture of rage.
Yeah. That would be so interesting if there could be like a space of reflection.
Yeah.
Like how some exhibitions will have like a pen and paper and you can write down your emotions, a thought, a question, and then stick it on a wall.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
That would be amazing. Especially in a show like this. Like having like starting it from even loneliness. Like having a build up of people's forms of loneliness or other emotions that they felt when going through the loneliness show or going through the rage show. It would be an interesting way to interact with it, to see how everyone is different and how each human emotion is different.
Well, and it's so interesting to think about, he's planning for 2027.
Yeah.
Rage. Like, we're all angry now. I'm sure we'll still be angry.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But that's really interesting that, I'm sure the political landscape will change a bit by 2027, and so the concept of rage, how it's never ending.
No.
And you just know that no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on internally, there will be a way that you can connect with this concept of rage.
Yes.
It's just timeless.
It is.
It's just crazy.
It is crazy. It's a very interesting concept.
Okay, so thinking beyond the gallery walls.
Yes.
Does Myles hope that there'll be some sort of particular conversation that comes from this exhibition, bringing this concept of rage into the public discourse, making it more open and accessible? And alongside that, so with Yoko Ono's practice, she's quite often been dismissed as eccentric and irrational in her art practice, as we talked about her being like dirty and hairy and wild and unkept. Do you think that this dismissal sort of parallels how historically women have been treated?
Yeah. Oh, he delves.
Incredible.
He delves. So this is going to be a bit of a long quote. Direct. So there's if I miss up, there's just like some gaps.
We can have it in the show notes as well, so if people want
to of course
scroll down,
have a read,
the wording of everything, check it out.
So what Myles said is, I remember watching an interview or reading something with her where she kind of talked about her experience, because she's always been called a witch. And she was like, first I was a bitch, and then I was upgraded to a witch. And it was because she was foreign. She was from Japan. And then obviously she was seen with John Lennon, which is a big part of her life. And then that was a new set of public eye. And that's when people were literally calling her hairy, calling her wild, calling her a dog. And all she kind of really wanted to say was that she was in love with a guy, and kind of took away this momentum away. He says that it was vitriol and hatred directed towards her. She was just so hated and so kind of persecuted in so many different ways, but still to constantly have this message of peace and to have this incredible love. I find that interesting, because no matter how the public perceived her as a woman and how her rage has been manipulated by the media, really shows that you know, you can say this stuff about me and you can treat me this way because I am a woman, and yeah, I might be with a beetle and whatever, but at the end of the day, like we addressed at the start, as Myles says, her main goal is just peace at the end of the day. It's always just peace. No matter what the answer is, all she wanted was peace. And I think in parallel to women's rage today, I do find it, that's where I think I struggle a little bit with it though, because I understand that she wants peace and not to have the rage, but you can't. It kind of eliminates that human experience to eliminate the rage, to just have peace.
But like, you want the peace because you have the rage.
Exactly.
You know, there's all of this inner turmoil and angst and upset in the world. And that is why we want peace.
Exactly.
Would we want peace if we were all happy and loving?
Well, there would be no need for peace.
There would be no need, because we would be experiencing it.
But then that opens the whole conversation in, if everything was peaceful, would we want conflict to be like,
oh, a bit of spice?
Yeah, like, you know.
It's interesting, let's start a war.
Maybe not a war, but like, in that whole sense, like, have like, you can't get along with everyone.
No.
And no one's going to get along with everyone.
Yeah.
And I think especially in women's rage historically that we've looked at, it's subtle and it's not there for the public to see at the time because it wasn't an issue at the time. But now that we look at it from our point of view as women in the 21st century, I think women's rage has historically, like we said, has been suppressed and has been muted and invisible, that now that we can look at these works in a new light, feminine rage from the past wasn't treated respectfully. And now that we can look at it in an art historical sense and see the feminine rage in it, you can see the difference in the way that the history has been treated, especially for women. And you can look at that in general.
Absolutely.
And I think that's especially with in Yoko's work as well. Like, you can see that she's clearly angry and she clearly wants an outcome.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't change the fact that a lot of her work is, you know, like we said, a work with John from back in 68. That was ages ago. We've looked at works from the 17th century that explore feminine rage.
Yes.
It's, you know, even though the show's 3 years in the future, I still think this concept and this feeling that we have today is still going to be around.
Absolutely.
It's never going to not be there, because if it was back in the 17th century, it's going to be 20,000 years in the future.
17th century to 2027. I mean,
exactly. Like, that's an insane.
It's persistent.
It's constant and it's there.
Yeah.
It's just we're more vocal about it now. Like we said in our second episode, we're much more vocal about it, and there's a rebellion against it.
Yeah. Well, like with the 17th century artworks that we discussed, you know, the historical artworks we've talked about, there's that rage and it's captured, but it's in a sort of Trojan horse of things. You know,
yes.
It's hidden under mythological or religious context.
Yes.
But we as women look at it and go, no, I see. I see her. I see the rage. I see the suffering. And then we could turn to the contemporary artworks and we still see it. And as we get closer along, you know, with the artworks you discussed last week, we see it coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
And the world becoming a battleground for this idea of rage. And it's so cool because now it's no longer just, I'm going to sit here quietly and do my painting and put it out there, and the people who know will know. Now it's, I'm going to go out on the street and I'm going to smash a car.
I'm going to smash a car.
I'm going to put myself in an oven and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm putting myself out there.
Exactly.
Like the Guerrilla Girls, you know, the punk, like everything is so loud now. So it's really exciting to see that in 2027 it's continuing to get louder, to say women have been experiencing this for so long. All we want is peace. All we want is respect, understanding, kindness.
Yeah.
That's all we really want.
Yoko's work, like we just said, all she wants is peace. Yeah. And people hate her for it for some reason.
Because people are angry.
Because people are angry.
And people love to be angry.
Yeah. And that's fine. I love to be angry.
Yeah.
I love being angry.
Throwing a little tantrum.
I love throwing a tantrum.
But the thing with Yoko is like, you know, no matter what everybody's called her, no matter how she's been perceived in the media, she has been so true to her message of peace.
Yeah.
That in every way that it's been sort of explored in her artistic practice, it just keeps that through line, keeps coming all the way.
I do wonder though, like obviously we did establish that Yoko is getting...
She's getting a bit older.
Will
we see her at the art exhibition?
No, that wasn't said. Oh. That wasn't said. I don't think so.
So is she in Japan? Is she in...
I'm not sure. That wasn't established. No. I don't know.
Yoko Ono is everywhere.
Yoko Ono is everywhere.
She is one and all.
I do wonder if there's... You know, because the song All Day I Feel Like Smashing My Face Into a Clear Glass Window is from 73.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if there's going to be any contemporary pieces through, like any new Yoko work.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Which would be very cool. But obviously, as we established, there are 13 other artists a part of the show. So I do wonder what the collision between the arts are going to be like.
I've got all these artists running through my head of how exciting it would be.
I know how exciting it would be to see
imagine
this.
if there was like a Louise Bourgeois.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. But I do wonder how they will link this to the contemporary. Yeah. Like it's ACCA. It's a contemporary. Yeah. It's a contemporary center.
Australian Centre for Contemporary.
You know, I wonder, especially with Australian art.
I'd love to see some Australian art.
I'd love to see some Indigenous art in there. Like speaking of rage, like gosh, that's like a whole nother topic.
I know.
I do wonder if there'll be any newer Yoko works, if she's got any, or if there's anything that she's doing for it. I do wonder.
Something we've never seen.
Seen would be very cool. But I do wonder if Yoko is the main artist, who are the other artists that will be interacting with it, especially in a contemporary and especially in a future. If we're looking at future in feminism, I wonder what if they are doing contemporary people. Who? I would love to know.
Who, what, when, where, why?
Who, what, where, when, and why. That's the big question. And obviously we don't know those answers because obviously it's still under lock and key. But I think from what we've diverged in what Myles is achieving is very big. It's a very big show. Huge. Not just Rage. The whole concept of this is a massive, spanning years. And he would even like it to keep expanding.
Oh, wow.
Keep expanding.
That's so exciting.
Wants to explore not just these three emotions. Like we said, he wants to explore other emotions if he gets the chance, even if he gets the chance. So it's something to look for.
Wow, I can't wait. Okay, so
yes,
let's wrap things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Was there anything that Myles wanted to talk about, mention about the show that we didn't cover already? Something he thought was key?
I think this final quote kind of just summarizes everything that we've kind of talked about, but also what he hopes to achieve with this. It's a big job, like we said, it's a very big show. But what he said is, I would like to say the one thing I love about art is its ability to make us think more deeply, to feel more deeply, to understand the world differently. Like, we're not a library, we're an art gallery. You come here to have an encounter with the work, to feel something, to do something, to stand in front of something, and to kind of have this shift and change of who you are. And I would really hope that these shows about helping us find that kind of connect and see a kind of universe, that there is more than just rage and loneliness, but these experiences are fundamentally being human. Every human being feels in these some types of ways. How do artists kind of use them to help us think more deeply and understand these things more deeply?
Oh.
Which I thought was a beautiful...
That's really nice.
A beautiful quote that he ended on. I just thought... And it's true. You look at life... if we're looking at the broader sense now... you're looking at it and it's how we can connect and how us as human beings, what we do for connection. And I think these connections between them, at the end of the day, we are all human beings and we all make mistakes and we all feel things. And I think it's kind of, I love this idea of kind of making you reflect on your own emotions and the way that you feel about certain things to then have that reflected and you can see it and then help you reflect it to then see how you can move on and grow in the future.
I love the positivity of this. It feels so full circle. And
it does.
In a world where we're so divided and everybody is so isolated, despite how connected we seemingly are with social media, everything's so accessible, and yet we're all so isolated. We're all in our tiny little echo chambers that is, Instagram Reels.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then there's the rage bait content that we see and we get,
I know.
angry. We see things going online, the protests and everything happening in America. Just everything in the world makes us so angry and isolated in ourselves. It's so wonderful that there's an exhibition coming where we can feel these things together. And I'm sure there'll be panels and discussions and writings and things.
Oh, of course. There's
that.
probably a lot more that is going to come out with it, but obviously to the extent it's still ages away. They've got so many other shows between now and then that they're focusing on.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Which makes sense. It's
It's just so great that this... And even this podcast and discussions that we're having with people, it opens up this community where we can feel together. And we can... Sure, we feel, feminine rage. We feel rage. We feel upset about things. But that's human.
It's human.
At the end of the day, everything we've talked about is the spectrum of human emotion. Yeah. Just expressed through art.
It is. Everything that we've spoken about is being expressed just through art. Yeah. And... I'm intrigued to know. I would love to know specifically what artworks are being chosen.
I'd love to know.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't, Myles.
But hey, if we've got the insider scoop, maybe we'll do a new little episode or something when the show comes out.
Maybe, yeah.
Take you along with us.
Take you with us. But I'm intrigued to see how the show will go. Yeah. I'm excited for the show. I'm excited not just for rage. I'm very excited for rage, but even just to see loneliness, to see joy. And it's ages away, so we might even be a part of the sector by then.
Oh, how fun.
Oh, how fun. But yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. And thank you for sitting down with Myles as well. That was such a huge achievement as well.
Oh my God, the anxiety. The anxiety I felt.
Very exciting, very proud, really, really cool.
Thanks, Mum.
Yeah, very cool, very proud. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That's been episode 3 of Scalded.
That's Scalded.
That's the end of Scalded. But
for now. For now. Join us
as we journey through art in historic and contemporary settings. Maybe we'll move on from feminine rage. Maybe we'll move into other things. Maybe we'll follow along with ACCA.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Stay tuned. But thank you for listening.
It's been an absolute treat.
Absolute pleasure.
Stay safe out there.
Yep. Live, laugh, love.
Peace out, guys.